Hunter Biden has been convicted. In your experience, is he going to serve time behind bars? And if so, how long do you think?
Well, a charge of this nature is incredibly rare. Oftentimes there's prosecutions for illegally possessing firearms, but that's by people who've been convicted of felons, who have been convicted of domestic violence crimes. You rarely see an addict possessing a firearm as a charge, but when you do, it's even more rare that you're going to see jail time. The sentencing guidelines would call for somewhere between 1 to 2 years in jail for illegally possessing one gun. But under these circumstances, the limited nature of how long Hunter Biden had the gun, the fact that he is in recovery, he has been sober for quite a while, and this conduct is from 2018, I think it's very unlikely he will be sentenced to prison.
Were you surprised at the conviction, or was the evidence against him just too strong? I mean, he seemed to incriminate himself in his own memoir.
The evidence did seem overwhelming, and I'm not surprised at all. The defense mounted a very kind of technical challenge that could the government prove beyond a reasonable doubt that on the day Hunter Biden signed the form, he was addicted or using crack cocaine. But the government presented a wealth of evidence, including, as you said, his own words that around this time, he was in the throes of crack addiction. And the jury from that could infer, well, also on the day he filled out the form, he was guilty. So it's not surprising. I think if we had seen a not guilty verdict or a hung jury, it would have been the result of nullification, jurors not feeling comfortable with the prosecution. But at the end of the day, they followed the evidence and the facts and the law, and they reached their unanimous verdict of guilty.
This is unprecedented territory here, because this is the first time that a president's offspring has been convicted of a crime. President Biden says he will not intervene in his son's punishment, whatever that may be, and there won't be a presidential pardon. But he could do that if he wanted to, couldn't he?
Absolutely. I think the time when we'll actually know whether President Biden is going to pardon his son or not is after the election. At that point, if he's lost the election, he has nothing to lose by pardoning him. If he's won the election, he can't run and serve another term after that. So there wouldn't be as much political fallout. So I think not until the election will we really know whether Joe Biden will get involved. And quite frankly, if it's not a jail sentence, he might say it's not worth pardoning him either.
Hunter Biden is facing an even more serious tax evasion trial in California in September. What are you expecting there?
That's going to be a more hard-fought trial where there are going to be evidence and arguments on both sides. It won't be as much of a one-sided affair as this one was. But if he's convicted in that tax case, which is much more serious, his conviction in the gun case will increase his sentence on the tax case. So that is the reason he wanted to fight this case and get out of the conviction, because it could reduce his potential exposure over there. But I expect that will be a more hard-hitting trial on the tax case.
Does this conviction take legitimacy out of the claims surrounding the Trump guilty verdict, that it was politically motivated, in your opinion?
You know, I think so. Certainly the prosecution itself took the wind out of Trump's argument that the Biden Justice Department is pursuing its political enemies, because if that were true, you wouldn't expect Hunter Biden to get prosecuted. But now you've had Hunter Biden convicted, which means that the jury, even in Hunter Biden's own state, where the Bidens are very popular, has found him guilty. It's not a rigged process. So I think in that regard, yes, I think it makes President Trump's argument a little more difficult to follow, but certainly that's not going to stop him from making it forcefully.
Scott Tenley, appreciate your time this morning. Thank you.